I would rate Alex Hormozi probably one of the number one top coaches out there with the best funnel, and even the top coach in general. His funnel, I've gone through countless hours of understanding his funnel. I've seen the value, I've seen the distribution, I've seen the techniques he uses, I've seen the scaling, the redirections he uses within his funnel, where he builds the self-awareness for his leads to turn into real high-ticket paying clients. I've seen it all. And I want to share that in this presentation to you guys right now. My name is Zane Wonsel. I'm the owner of 2049 Studios, where we've generated over $50,000 extra revenue per month for our coaches, simply through building their funnels right, okay, and using our precise method. But this is going to be the most valuable coaching funnel training you'll ever watch, okay, because I've gone through the number one coach out there, and I've understood his funnel. Now I'm sharing that value, that knowledge with you guys right now. But we need to understand, like, what is Alex Hormozi's distribution? Where does he distribute? Well, he distributes across almost every social media platform out there, if not every social media platform out there. And that's his attention. That is where he grabs the viewers. And his content is simply just value-driven education. And it's about getting customers, increasing revenue, improving offers, scaling sales, hiring margins, business models, case studies, diagnostic constraints. What are these altogether? It's directing towards his offer, scaling businesses. And he scales businesses who've already scaled to a decent size, say to 100 to 200K each year. But if we look at his bio through every social media platform, he has the same bio. It's your free scaling roadmap through everything. It's get your free scaling roadmap. Now, this CDI directs to continue the education. And we need to understand, like, his content, first of all, his problem awareness. He's sharing the problem. He positions himself as the authority, and that gains desire for deeper information. And that's what we need to do in content, is place yourself as the authority and the best at what you do. That is what Alex Hormozi says. But where does his actual audience navigate to? Well, this takes them over to get your free personalized 100 million scaling roadmap in under 30 seconds. And this does several things. That header simply creates curiosity. It identifies the prospects, frames the company as an expert, surfaces the prospect's problem, creates a reason for the next interaction, gives the company information about the prospect. That is that header there. Now, what is the lead magnet / bait page if you don't know? The lead magnet is simply just you providing free value in exchange for their contact information. This is where you get the hook onto them. This is usually the first step within your funnel. When it comes to funnels that are successful, they simply value max. It's all about value maxing, education, giving that free content, that free value. Because if you position yourself well with the free value, they're going to be experiencing, wow, if this guy's actually that good at this, I wonder how good he can help me. I wonder how good it will be to work with him. This free stuff is that good. But continuing on, what is your name? First name, last name. Let's start. Where should I email it to? What is your phone number? Now, the email is an important part because this is where we can follow up and get into their inbox. We want to get into their inbox because that is what we mainly check every morning. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? You usually look at messages and you usually go into your inbox. And if we can see you in the inbox, then that's a great advantage point because now they're seeing us every morning. It gives us a great way for us to follow up if they ever drop off at any stage in the step of the funnel. But continuing on, what's your shipping address? Now, as we notice here, the qualification, he has a decent size when it comes to his niche. Of full-time employees, the lowest is 5 in his qualification form. The lowest for annual business revenue is 100K to 250K. So we're noticing that his niche are business owners who've already built up their business, but they want to scale more. And this qualification helps filter out bad leads from the good leads. That's what the qualification is all about. It's not about how many leads we want to generate. It's about how many of those leads want to buy. And we've got to find them. And that's where the qualification form comes into place. Alex Hormozi uses the qualification form countless times in this funnel. We know that Alex Hormozi doesn't want to waste time on people that are not going to buy his offer. And that's what we want in our own funnels. We want to put our energy towards those ones who are going to buy. And that's where the qualification comes into place. What happens when we click get my roadmap? Well, it takes us over to here. Check your email for a customized roadmap. Now you can check your email, otherwise you can click this button. I'm going to be continuing that on soon. But now he's in the inbox, our inbox now. Here's your scaling roadmap. This is PDF version. We need to understand, like, by the end of the PDF, we always need to have a CTA. And his CTA is, do you want to scale to the next step? We need to understand, like, he doesn't position it as a sell. He positions it as more education, the workshop. So we can see there, more education. Do you want to scale to the next step? It's not, do you want to earn an extra 10K per month? No, that will give the self-belief that he's selling us. But we want to position it as, we're simply just wanting to give you more educational to help you get to where you want to be. So that's a PDF version. If we click this button, watch the scaling roadmap course, it generates a free course for us. More free value, educational. He's maximizing this free value because he really wants to emphasize that he's the best at what he does. And he's willing to give free stuff stuff for nothing in return. But he knows that if he provides enough free value, and that free value is that it's super valuable, that it actually helps your business without paying a single dime, then he knows that you may be willing to work with him, because now you know how the results are generating without working with him. I wonder how big the results are going to generate when I do work with him. And that's a free course. By the end of each video, he has this more education. He's putting more education. That is the course part. Now we see this form. This form essentially is we're heading to step 2. And this step 2, if I'm not missing anything else, as we can see here, he is qualifying again. He wants to understand our annual business revenue. So this is actually another qualification form, annual business revenue. He doesn't want to waste time on people that aren't going to buy. So he's understanding our revenue. We click go to step 2, and this is the video sales letter. Are you the thing limiting your business? Join our scaling workshop. Remove yourself as a single point of failure. Emphasizing to join our scaling workshop. This is his selling point. And on this landing page, we can see proof. We can see handling objections through FAQs, the specific things that we need to add onto our landing page to actually increase those conversions. Proof. No one is going to buy if they don't know that it actually works. That's where proof comes into place. Handling objections through FAQs. This is the single most important thing as well. We don't want to handle objections on call. Of course, we get taught that to handle those objections, but if we can handle those objections before the call, that is a great, advantage. So that's where you can include it through the FAQs. How much are the tickets? Avoiding the price objection. And then simply what you're actually going to get within the workshop, just a brief overview of what you're going to get. That's a simple landing page that he has right there, the video sales letter. Now, what happens if we click I'm ready to scale? This takes us over to this form. Qualification, email, what is your annual revenue? Are you able to travel to grow your business in the next 90 days? Tickets of 5K, does that work for you? That is another qualification form right there. What I like about this is tickets of 5K, does that work for you? If you haven't generated 5K with my free stuff, then this isn't for you. But if you have generated 5K with my free stuff, this is for you. So that's a great qualification entry point right there. And then we have the ACQ scaling workshop, meaning this is same thing, workshop, in-person event. And if there are no time slots available for the month of August or any month, then this is where comes the backup page. So simply here, basically just booking our way through. What happens if we can't book? If the month is filled out, if there's no spots left, then it takes up to this backup page. Another video sales letter backup. So this is essentially where he provides more education, as we can see here. More of his books there. It also directs over to more value, another course, more value, more education. By the end of each of these courses, he has a bonus. And this bonus is directing to the acquisition HQ, where you have a chance actually getting flown out and attending the acquisition.com HQ. Now here he also has the joining Skool games free. This is simply just retaking back into the funnel. Okay, this is great to have this backup page because most people in their funnel says, oh, if this isn't available, we're just going to end the funnel here. No, continue the funnel, education, more value, and then loop that back around. This is what I love about Alex Hormozi, is through every point of his funnel, no matter if it's a no, no matter if it's a yes, the funnel continues. There's really no end when it comes to Alex Hormozi's funnel. Now here are some notes. Alex isn't really running a coaching funnel. He's running a self-selection, education, qualification, relationship funnel. That is what is unique about Alex Hormozi's funnel. Education. He understands qualification and he builds that relationship with his visitors, with his prospects. Number 1 is Alex Hormozi. He gives away an absurd amount of value. 100 million scaling roadmaps, scaling courses, offer creation course, lead gen course, guides, ebooks, templates, and live scaling workshop. He gives you enough value to prove that his paid help is probably worth paying for. So he distributes that education through his content, through each part of his funnel. And he provides and he showcases that he's the best at what he does. And he's pushing that education, he's pushing that value. So that when you do experience his value through the books, ebooks, PDFs, whatever it may be, through even the course that he's built out for free, then you experience how good it is. And how good it is that it's actually generating you results without paying any dime. And then you understand your self-belief, believes, okay, if this is that good, I wonder what it's like to work with him. Number 2, if I can find it, free content is actually a giant product demonstration. The free content isn't lead generation. It's a PPOC, products proof of content. Like imagine if you're a business owner, download the roadmap. You have your diagnostics, you have your scaling framework, videos, all of that value, and then the workshop. Now every stage you're thinking, how can this be useful? Should I work with Alex? But that also goes over to how much more could I accomplish if I had his team helping me? And that is where that giant product demonstration comes into place. It gives you that self-belief of how much would I accomplish if I actually worked alongside his team. Now, number 3, he doesn't force one path. That's what I love about his funnel. That is what I mentioned. Content, free roadmap, qualification, personalized value, free course, sports workshop. He goes through 3 separate ways. More education, high trust, paid offer. Now, different prospects needs different amounts of education. Most coaches don't understand this. They think their prospects are all the same. No, each of your prospects are different. They have different beliefs. They have different objections. If you can navigate your funnel in the way that suits them most, they're going to get to the end of the funnel. You need to direct your funnel in the ways that your prospects think. Number 4 is the roadmap is the first really clever mechanism. You see, the current roadmap page says it's being requested by 250,000 business owners, and the current version says the model cross-references 3... Now, the roadmap is the first really clever mechanism. The current roadmap page says it's being requested by 250,000 business owners, and the current version says the model cross-references 3 answers against scaling businesses to generate a personalized roadmap in roughly 28 seconds. Now, that's brilliant because it's not, here's a PDF, it's, I will diagnose you. And that distinction matters enormously. A generic lead magnet creates information consumption. A personalized diagnostic creates self-awareness. And self-awareness creates demand. We want that self-awareness. So that is number 4. Let's go on to number 5. Number 5 is the qualification is happening way earlier than the sales call. The funnel is constantly asking, are you actually the person we want? Alex Hormozi uses this at least 3 times through his funnel. He understands the revenue. He understands the amount of employees. He qualifies. Doesn't want to waste time on those ones who aren't going to buy. And that is where qualification comes into place. Number 6 is a workshop genius. It's a high trust physical environment containing qualified business owners. The in-person workshop he has around 100 business owners. Now, Alex Hormozi isn't just selling his education. He's also providing Alex's environment, his people, his frameworks, his standards, other successful business owners, his headquarters, his operating philosophy. That's all bundled in that workshop. So he's framed it where it's like, attend this workshop, but you also have all of these other benefits that you're going to experience. It's not just one thing, and that is why the workshop is such a genius. It's not just the education, it's the networking. It's the understanding how Alex Hormozi works. It's his philosophy. And that's what I love about number 6. Number 7 is the 5 ticket is actually a qualification device. I believe I've mentioned this in the presentation before, but it says that if someone hasn't made at least 5K from the free content, they shouldn't buy the workshop. Don't pay us until our free stuff has already made you money. So that's a great qualification device. He's simply saying, if you haven't made 5K from our free stuff, then this isn't for you. If you have, then join our workshop. That is a qualification device, the 5 ticket. Let's move on to number 8. And there's a beautiful feedback loop. Free content, business gets results, trust increases, customer wants more, workshop, more result, more trust, higher ticket relationship, better case study, more content, more attention. Now the customer becomes revenue, proof, testimonial, case study, referral, content, authority, all at once through his feedback loop, and it compounds. As you can see there, it's literally just value, and it's just from that value, it's providing more trust and result. So value max. Now, number 9, about the backup. If the prospect can't immediately attend the workshop, the funnel doesn't say goodbye, it gives more education. We always want to have that backup. Alex Hormozi's funnel always continues no matter what decision you make. As soon as you click on that link in each of his bios on his social media channels, you're basically stuck in the funnel forever. When it comes to Alex Hormozi, it's really hard to get out of his funnel. And that's what a funnel is all about. A funnel is simply to get stuck. If you think about a funnel is kind of like this clear sphere, and it gets lower as you go down. It's hard to get out if you're going to be crawling up because it's all smooth. That's what a funnel should be about. It's, as soon as you click on that link, you want to make it as hard as possible for your leads, for your prospects to get out of that funnel. Let's move on to number 10. Number 10, the books are a funnel itself. Then eventually the product realizes, I've consumed the frameworks, I don't necessarily need another book, I need implementation. They've done all their education. That's when paid help becomes natural. They've done the education, now it's time for the implementation. And through that book, it's providing value. Once again, value, education, and then by the end of the book, it will have a CTA. And that CTA will then direct on to his online funnel. But after the education, people's self-belief realizes that, okay, I've done enough of this education, now I need to take action on this education, implementation, join the workshop. Now, if you don't know the value ladder, this is crucial when it comes to your funnel. Mass attention through almost every social media platform out there. Podcast, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, IG. And then free diagnostic, $100 million roadmap. Qualification, revenue, business, industry problem. Just understanding, where they're at, where their business is at. Alex Hormozi focuses on businesses who've already scaled but want to scale more. Personalization, here's your constraint. We're personalization to each of our prospects because each of our prospects, as we know, they think different. So we have free course, books, workshop, education, experience, etc. This increases more trust because now the self-belief in our prospects are like, they know what they're doing. We have the paid experience, 5K workshop, they join, implementation, Vantage, etc. And then deeper relation, advisory, equity, portfolio. That is his value ladder. To finish off, I want to emphasize is don't copy Alex Hormozi's funnel. You don't have Alex's $12 million audience. You don't have his books, case studies, portfolio directors, HQ, years of content, brand recognition, $250 million portfolio narrative. You don't have that, but copy the architecture. What is the smallest amount of free value I can give that produces a measurable result and makes the prospect want the next level? Whether that's PDF, whether that's a training, whether that's a YouTube video, whatever it may be. Understand what kind of value can you give to your leads, to your viewers that are gonna build that measurable result. result. If I were to build this funnel today, let's say if I'm a coach, I'm generating around 5, 10, 15K per month. Here's what I would do to build that funnel out. Number one is the content. That is our attention. That is our distribution. Then that goes over to the link. So free assessment, your biggest constraint is X, your secondary constraint is Y. Here's what we estimate that is costing you. Here's a 3-step plan. So essentially we're giving a free assessment of where they're at right now. So they're going to fill out our form. We're going to understand where they're at, and then we're going to give direction. This then directs them over to the free training. So we'll be like, here's a 3-step plan, free training, implementation, get result. If you want us to implement this with you. So they look at the free training, there's a CTA at the end. That CTA then directs over to the application where we see if they qualify or not, then that directs over to the high ticket offer. That is a simple funnel that I'd follow right there. Take a screenshot if you have not already. But that is the end of the presentation. That is Alex Hormozi's funnel. Alex Hormozi, study it. He's the best coach out there. He's the best coach with the best funnel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.